The Carrick Bend. Hello everybody, welcome back, and today's little knot that I learnt is the Carrick Bend, and so I thought I'd show you as well. And you can see here in front of me I have got two variations of the Carrick Bend. Now the Carrick Bend itself is designed to join two equal sized, it used to be hawsers, but you can use it for smaller cordage now as well. Join two equal sized lines together, and one thing you will notice is this, that in this top one here, you can see that the working ends are coming out diagonally opposite each other, and this one here is the more secure version of the Carrick Bend. If we now look at this bottom one here, you can see here that both the working ends are coming out from the actual bottom of the actual bend itself. And that is a less secure method. Now, let me I didn't know this until I did a bit of research, but what I'm going to do, and also check the description down below because there's quite a lot of information with regards to the Carrick Bend that you may find useful as well. But when I open up my little book, The Sailor and His Knots by Clifford Ashley, and if we go here to this, on page 32 it says there are 256 possible and different over and under arrangements of the Carrick Bend. It makes you wonder, were some of these tied on one leg or what? But anyway, in today's little exercise, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, first of all, this one here, when it's coming out the bottom side, if you want to use it as a decorative knot of some sort, and then we'll go on and show the more secure version where we've got the actual working ends coming out on either side there. So anyway, without further ado, let's get on and let's get knotting. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to first of all tie the insecure version, and the reason I'm showing both is because some people would want this as a decorative knot, whereas if you know both variants, then you know which is right and which is wrong. So as you can see in front of me here, I have got my working end for my 2E leads. Take the yellow one out the way, just pop that out the way for now, and the first thing that I'm going to do is just get the red one and then bring it round so that we form a loop at that point there, so it's coming over itself. So it's going around and then over itself, and the working end is coming down to the right hand side there. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to pass my yellow working end underneath that loop. So pass it underneath that loop. My loop's just fallen apart there, and then now what I'm going to do is just pull a little bit more through. And then the next thing that we're going to do, now that we've got that shape there, so there's my working end for the red one, that's my working end for the yellow one. And all we're going to do now is weave this over, under, over, under, over. And so all I do is go over the red working end, underneath the red standing end, and then bring it round. Just let's get a little bit more through, bring it round. And once you know how to do this, you can tie it in your hand and it's a lot easier. And then go over the red one, underneath the yellow one, and then back out over the red one there. And you can see now what we've done here now is we've tied ourselves a rather nice decorative Carrick Bend, but because the two leads are coming out of the bottom, it is not as secure as the next one that we're going to tie. So I'll keep this one tied in here so you can see the differences when I've completed them. Let's just pull that up a little bit, and there you go. It's just a little bit neater and smarter. So what I'll do now is just get the other end of my rope and we will tie the next one. So what we're going to do now is we're going to tie the more secure version, and this is what we do. Let's get rid of the yellow one, and the first thing that I'm going to do with my red one is I'm going to form a loop, and I'm passing the working end underneath the standing end, and there we have it. We have a loop. So now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my working end of my yellow one and just pass it underneath my loop like so. And now that we've done that, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to weave this working end here over the red standing end, underneath the working end, then over, under, over again. And you can see here now, so as I do this now, go over the standing end, underneath the working end, and then just weave it over, under, over. And you can see here now that where I've now you can dress it up nicely and you can adjust it as much as you want, so you end up with longer or shorter tails. And the other thing is, usually when this was used on hawsers, these two ends were seized together and then you end up with a nice secure Carrick bend at that point there. But in this day and age, you can also, before we go on to that, let's just have a look. So there we have the secure version of the Carrick bend, and underneath there we have the less secure version where the two working ends are coming out on exactly the same size. And the other thing is, now what we can do is just dress this up as we're going along, pull it up, and then gradually as we dress it up, we end up, perhaps should have used longer tails there, but we end up with a nice, secure, and that is really, really secure bend for joining two ropes together. And that's it. And let's see what happens if we tie this one up. I think with this one we end up with pretty much the same sort of picture. So just pull that up, and then you can see here now it looks almost the same. So it's when you're tying it, get used to tying it, because when you actually pull it up tight like this, the ends, even though they were on opposite sides on this top one here, all of a sudden they appear at the bottom on the same side here. So just be aware of that. So when it's actually tied, it is very difficult to see whether or not the more secure version has been tied. So if somebody else has tied it, I would suggest you check and do it yourself, is the simple solution for that, only from a safety point of view. So there we have it. That is the Carrick bend. So once again, just thanks again for watching. Thanks to all those people out there who do leave me comments and we have a chat. And if you want to see more videos, just click on one of these links that appear on your screen here now. And I'll see you again next time. Take care then. Bye-bye.